What's going on, my fellow A-plussers? Welcome back once again to a brand new episode. It is I, your host, as always, Adam Perez, certainly coming through once again with a brand new review, ladies and gentlemen, as we're here to go ahead and kick off the finale of Falcon and the Winter Soldier, guys, as we wind up getting episode number 6 today. So we're going to be breaking that all down for you guys and really kind of get an idea of what we can expect maybe going forward, even for some of these particular characters. So we had a ton of stuff that certainly went on. So it's not just me reviewing this week's episode. We wind up actually bringing in some help today. We got Indy Uchiha on board with us today. What's going on, buddy? Good to see you, man.
What's going? I wasn't going to miss this finale. I've missed every other episode. I wasn't going to miss being here for this finale talk.
Yeah, man, I'm pumped to really get into it. I feel like, yeah, for the most part, I don't think we've had anybody else on. I don't think Stuart was on episode 1 with me or anything like that. So it was just me for the majority of the time. But I'm going to be interested to kind of get somebody else's perspective in on a couple of these on this particular episode and just get your thoughts on the series in general. But let me ask you, Indy, we finally got episode number 6, the final episode. What did you think overall of the episode this week and then just of the series?
This episode was actually well done. I feel like it did really good at wrapping everything up. Wrapping everything up, plus setting expectations for the future. Like the suit reveal, just the small things that they added into everything going on. Everybody who you thought was going to have hands involved in stuff had hands involved in stuff, and just the way they're leading up to everything. We didn't just have one suit reveal; we had 2 suit reveals. That was the beautiful thing about it. They went, we're going to know what's happening going on for the future, and I was all for it. It's just something about waking up in the morning and having something Marvel to see, like getting your coffee, sitting down, putting it on, turning the sound. I went and bought a sound bar just for this show.
Just this episode, or just for the show in general?
Just for this show, I went and bought a sound bar just for this show because I knew it was going to be just banging. So we got a couple, 3 weeks till Loki.
Yeah, I think, well, no, it may be a little bit longer. I think that drops in June, doesn't it? Is it June or is it May 19th? I lost track of all the shows. I feel like Marvel's hitting us so quick with new content. It's hard to keep track of everything because I know we've got Black Widow out in July. So we definitely have a lot of content to definitely look forward to. But yeah, you know what? I will say this. The previous week's episode, I thought did such a great job of tying up some loose ends, maybe getting the build up just right to this final episode so that when you get into this, you literally just jump right into the action and the final showdown, if you will, and then really wrapped up beautifully. Like you said, like I think if any show earned its happy and fun ending that this Falcon and Winter Soldier did, it definitely was this show. I mean, they definitely put in some work in regards to just some great character development, even just kind of getting to see the mindset of where Sam and Bucky were, whether it was their own personal situations that they were dealing with, or Sam going back to his family in Louisiana, right? I mean, they just did all over the place with hitting you with the character stuff, but also giving us just that great Marvel action and espionage, and it was just unbelievable stuff. So I'm really thrilled that as to how this series itself wind up turning out. But I thought this was a really proper finale. I thought great action and just a really great send-off that was emotional, and I think for me really had me looking very forward to seeing where these characters are going to go in the future for sure.
Yeah, definitely, especially with a couple of surprises that we had. Well, I don't think either one of us was surprised with the little reveals and stuff that they had. We saw it coming, but man, this was to only have 6 episodes where WandaVision had 9, right? They did amazingly with 6 episodes. There were no down points. They told an entire story. I felt this is one particular where I felt like I watched a movie. Like they could have this could have just been a movie. We could have watched it from beginning to end, and it would have been dope.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree. It certainly felt that way for me too. I am amazed in what they were able to do in 6 episodes. I mean, every concept and idea for a show certainly is different. So I definitely get the idea of one series having 9, another one having 6. But I agree with you. I thought the pacing was just perfectly done in the sense of being able to give us those small moments, those intimate moments with those characters, but also the over the top, the bombastic sort of MCU feel and amazing action and stuff like that. So just really great pacing, I thought, from beginning to end. That helped us. I think really helped us carry us through this entire season. So I definitely agree with you with that. Let's talk about the man of the hour here, and Anthony Mackie, Mr. Sam Wilson himself. I was really hoping for a very epic sort of reveal for his costume, and I'm thrilled that they gave it to us. You know what I mean? The idea that he comes bursting through the window, saving some people, the roll into the suit reveal. I thought it was amazing. Wakanda certainly did him right for sure.
Yo, I have to know if that was Shuri. Like Shuri needs to get like a logo where she's putting it on all the suits she's making, so you know it was her. Because man, that was just. I never liked that costume in the comics. I never liked the way it was. I don't know if it's the way it was shaded, it was colored. You know what I'm saying? Seeing it in real life, totally different.
Yeah, they did. Oh, go ahead.
No, I don't know what Marvel is doing with their costumes as of late, but the realism of them, instead of going with the comic book quirkiness, but still having that comic book feel to them, it is amazing. Watching what he does with his wings. I love the fact that he still had wings. I was scared he wasn't going to have wings. That's what it felt like. I was like, oh no, they're going to take his wings away. He's going to be running around with a shield. I'm like, he's too normal for this.
Yeah, way too normal.
They gave him the wings, the red wings. And it was just, bro, it was just too cold. That intro, you saw it coming. You know what I'm saying? Just flying through the air, and all of a sudden he just burst in, and the way he's throwing the shield and working the shield and the wings together, the jetpack. It was just too good.
It was too good. It was almost like they heightened the mantle of Captain America. I mean, the fact that he did keep his wings, I was super thrilled. Pretty comic book accurate for the most part, with the exception of the wings. I think the wings were completely red, whereas this one they definitely gave them some flavor and some color for sure. So I did one of my favorite shots was seeing when Carly goes to punch the shield and he blocks, and then his wings like dig into the ground so he doesn't move. I thought that was just really cool to kind of see how his wings kind of play a factor in it. But yeah, just one of my great shots in this episode was just that very beginning when he throws the shield into the window and you get that brief sort of like just full exposure of Sam with the wings out. I thought that was great. The other shot of him at the end when he's bringing Carly down into his arms and he's got his wings out, like just that slow motion shot type of thing. Yeah. For me, when I look at the costume now, there is a sense of like this American bald eagle sort of flair to it now. Like they've hyped up the Captain America costume, and now it's like, if you thought stars and stripes was enough, now we're going to give you that eagle vibe, and now Homeboy's got the wings. He looks great in it, man. I'm so glad that they were able to, whoever the costume design or the designer for the suit was, just did a marvelous job. And yeah, I am curious to know what Anthony Mackie felt when he first put that on, man. I mean, because immediately, I mean, we already saw glimpses of Captain America in him this entire episode, but man, I mean, just talk about the idea of him just showcasing why he's Captain America in here for sure with that fantastic speech he wound up giving, right?
I think. And I might catch a lot of heat for this, to be totally honest with you, because there are some Steve Rogers loyalists out there, especially when this character first came around. You know what I'm saying? That's not my Captain America. If anything, he's more Captain America, Sam is, than Steve Rogers could be. You know what I'm saying? Coming from the background he's come from, he really fits that. I'm not going to say immigrant, but you know what I'm saying? Being a black man in America, wanting to serve a country that doesn't serve him, you know what I'm saying? Standing for the right, standing for immigrants. Even though everybody's saying don't do this because they don't represent you the right way, he's trying to break that mold and just be earnest, be honest, be that shining light to show that I can help create the change. You don't always have to be angry black man. You know what I'm saying? Like, go out there and create that change in order so people can see, you know what I'm saying, the difference between and see the value. We shouldn't have to show the value, but he's going to be the one to step up and, you know what I'm saying, do what he needs to do. He understands he needs to be the one in the light. He needs to hold that mantle. That realization, and then watching Isaiah, you know what I'm saying, sit there while he's giving that speech and just turn his whole ideology around. Like, I understand you're doing this. Like, you're not only doing this for you, you're doing this for every person that got looked over, that got used, for everybody who's been disenfranchised. You're going to be the beacon that they can really go to, because it's more than just about being about the government. Just him talking and telling them, look, it's easy for y'all just to label people as terrorists. You know what I'm saying? The life y'all live, y'all don't live how they live. You don't understand what they're going through. Yes, people that came back needed their homes. Yo, the people that came back probably came back to money. A lot of the people, you know what I'm saying, and they're going through, like, you could have hooked them up with something, or at least when you gave these people homes, give these other people somewhere to go rather than these camps and stuff you have. Like, he hit me so hard, I had to watch that speech like 5 times and was like, I want Falcon for president. That's how I felt. It was just so well done. And some people said it was too long. I feel like it was the perfect length.
I thought it was a perfect length. He definitely has a lot to say. And that people need to hear, for sure.
He had a lot of points to hit, because at first he wanted to look at the flashback. The flag bashers aren't smashers, aren't terrorists. This is why they're doing what they're doing, because you're overlooking them now. If you look out and say, I'm going to help you and really help you, this would have never happened. You know what I'm saying? Somebody has to have a voice, and somebody's going to be the voice of the voiceless. And that's what this young lady was. She understood that even if she died, you know what I'm saying, that people were going to understand what she was doing. I mean, they had so many followers that didn't even have to deal with what they dealt with.
And I love the fact that Sam even points that out. It's like, what does that tell you, right? Like, if this one teenager has managed to gather up all these people to fight against the government, what does that tell you? That you're not doing your job, right? Like, you're not paying attention to what's going on. And so I do love the fact that it is somebody like Sam Wilson that kind of forces them to kind of ask those tough questions, right? And kind of look at themselves a little bit differently than what they certainly have before. So I definitely agree with you, man. I love the speech that Sam wound up giving, especially just hearing him talk to Isaiah in here, and just some of the things that he said. He says, we helped build this country, bled for it. I'm not going to let someone tell me that I can't fight for it, not after everything that came before me, type of thing, right? That people before him have kind of laid this groundwork, and instead of just to kind of dismiss that because of the fact that the country has done you or your people wrong, right, is probably maybe not necessarily the I don't want to say the correct ideology to have, because Isaiah Bradley, after everything that this man has been through, I can understand his particular point of view. But I also love Sam's point of view of the idea of that I there's no reason why I shouldn't be wearing this stars and stripes and this shield, right? Like, we helped build it. I have every right to fight for it just as much as the next man, type of thing. So I just thought it was a great message that he wound up giving in here.
Isaiah Bradley went through everything he went through so that Sam could wear the stars and stripes like he did now. That's the one thing that Sam makes sure that he lets him know. I'm only here because of you. If you didn't do what you did, I would not be able to stand here. And I'm doing without the superhero serum. I've had nobody do any tests or nothing on me. You know what I'm saying? The man who was the mantle passed his mantle to me. It's not like I wanted it to take it up. You know what I'm saying? It was given to me because of the man I was, not the soldier I was. That's something that they were pushing through in this a lot. And I think it's something that we can take into our lives and take it to us. You know what I'm saying? It
definitely is a recurring theme, because it's not even necessarily just about Sam, but I feel like everybody deals with that same issue in this. It's to a certain extent,
because even Agent 13, you know what I'm saying? You understand why she feels the way she feels. Every single other person got a pardon but her, because she stole this, because she stole the shield and she stole the wings back. So she's an enemy of the country, and they don't care about her because she's low on the totem pole. The only reason the other people got off is because they were the quote unquote Avengers, and they had to pardon them, but they ain't got to pardon everybody else. So, like, I understand why she's doing what she's doing. She was somebody who was on the government side, deep into it, watched everything that they did, watched Hydra infiltrate them, and watched what they're doing now, and looking like, this is not a country I want to live for.
Yeah, I'm actually I was actually, I don't want to say I was surprised. I mean, I felt like a couple of episodes prior, we had already were talking about Sharon Carter in the light of being the power broker. So when they revealed it in here, it didn't surprise me. But what does surprise me when it comes to Sharon Carter is probably the position that this puts Sharon Carter in when it comes to the MCU at this particular point in time. The fact that now that she is part and it has access to just a ton of government secrets, weapons, etc., that you wind up mentioning. I feel like if we're looking for where our next batch of villains might come from, it would not surprise me if Sharon Carter has a hand to play in how maybe some of these new villains wind up coming to rise now because they have somebody like Sharon Carter on the inside.
I honestly don't know if Sharon Carter is still a true villain. They've laid 3 C's for 3 big bads. We got Zemo making moves from jail.
From jail.
he went to the raft just so he could be cool, so he could be safe and couldn't nobody come after him.
Yeah, it's like, nope, nobody's coming after me. Can't blame me for this one.
He's still making moves from jail. You got Madam Hydra. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm not going to butcher her entire name. It was when she came in and gave the entire name, I was like, I could never do that.
Yeah, I'm just going to call her Val or Madam Hydra. That's it.
Yeah, Madam Hydra, who now, because of the ties that she has, you know what I'm saying, with the USA, I still don't know if that's a real bad. I don't know if they're going to play the Leviathan. You know what I'm saying? I have no idea what they're going to do. They're setting this up perfectly where they go, you know who this person is, you know who this person is, you know who this person is. Guess what we're going to do with them? Like, you have no idea what direction they're going to go, or they can go all 3 directions because of the way they done built this world out.
Yeah, I will say that this series definitely did build out the world in regards to what the future of the MCU might hold, for sure. I'm still very much under the impression that maybe we get ourselves a version of Thunderbolts. That's kind of where I'm leaning, especially with John Walker now a part of now officially as the U.S. agent. Which, if I'm under the impression, I was under the impression very much that Sam in the beginning of the episode mentions that he's got backup coming. We clearly know that Sharon's not the backup. I'm assuming the backup is in fact John Walker, because he came out of nowhere, which kind of surprises me. But at the end, when you see Sam after that speech, he looks over at John and he kind of they both give each other the nod, and then John kind of walks off. I'm assuming they've made up or have gotten over their thing. So I'm assuming he's the one. That Sam actually is the one that called Bucky. That called John Walker in.
I'm thinking it was John Walker too, because he sounds surprised when Sharon was there. And when Sharon was like, nobody's going to be looking for me here, it doesn't seem like he called her to be there, because I think he would have told Bucky Sharon's here. The fact that he said we got backup coming and he didn't tell Bucky was because it was Walker.
It was,
and
Walker,
he knew that was going to be an issue. But again, Sam is that person who knows how to talk to people. And that's the beautiful thing, because it's plenty of times he could have talked this girl down. He could have ended this in like episode 4.
He probably could have. And I wouldn't be surprised if he tells John Walker, like, hey, you want to avenge Lamar? You know what I'm saying? Like, you want the real person, that actually killed him? Come and meet us in New York City, man. Let's do this. Let's finally take her down, type of thing.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting, man. And I was really. I loved John Walker's character in this show. The ups and downs that he had, and just seeing how a normal person couldn't handle that type of load. You know what I'm saying? That type of mantle. He really cracked under pressure, but to be able to rebound, and knowing that, and him putting that Medal of Honor in that shield to remind him of who he really was, in order to keep him from vamping out, you know what I'm saying, was really, really cool. And at the end, him even acknowledging Sam as Captain America, because that was the end. Like, yeah, this is you. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
Captain America.
Yeah, that nod towards each other definitely said it all for me, for sure.
But the star of this entire show, the star of this finale, was hands down to me, Bucky. But Bucky's role, and he plays the sidekick role too well, but he had his character development without having any screen time, and us being connected to what he's going through, from Winter Soldier to the brief moment we see him in, what was that? The end of Civil War. What was it when he showed up and they had his body? That was in the Winter Soldier when they put his body on ice in Wakanda. Then coming back in
it might have been. Was that Civil War? I think that was Civil War.
That was Civil War. That was Civil War.
They put him on ice. Did they put him on ice in Civil War? I think they did. Yeah.
Because that's when they went to Wakanda. That's when they defected and went to Wakanda. So to have less screen time than Sam, and to us be that attached to this character and what he's going through, I got to give a hats off to Sebastian Stan just for the clinic he's given in this series, acting wise. Like, dude, wow.
Yeah, I was really impressed with Sebastian Stan. I've never really seen too much of his work prior to the stuff that he's doing in the MCU. But one of the things that I've loved about this season is really just how much they've catapulted Falcon and the Winter Soldier, or I should say Captain America now and the Winter Soldier, to really at the forefront of this Avengers team. I mean, the amount of growth that they were able to give us was pretty incredible in here. And like for me, while Bucky Barnes was never really a character that I cared too much about, honestly. I mean, talk about just kind of do it a complete 180 here in regards to making me actually care for him. You know, the previous episode that we had of him out in Wakanda and overcoming, you know, the Winter Soldier program and stuff, right? Knowing that they cured him and stuff, just the level of emotions that Sebastian Stan just kind of went through and showed on screen. I was like, man, this guy's talented, man. This guy's incredibly talented. And I continue to love just his chemistry with Anthony Mackie. I think they make a perfect team in here. And it really just showed, like just seeing Bucky Barnes and Sam Wilson hang out in Louisiana and have cookouts with his family and playing around with the kids and taking pictures with everybody. Like that was such a great feel-good moment for this series, but it just continued to just fortify just the relationship that these two wind up having and how brilliant they are together.
Not just that, but knowing that Bucky didn't trust anybody other than Steve and watching him start to trust Sam from the beginning of the series where he wouldn't uncover his hand. He wouldn't, you know what I'm saying? He was sleeping on the floor to when by the time he gets to Louisiana, he's sleeping on the couch. He's smiling. Like you watch the character transition. He's smiling more. The nightmares are going away. He stops hiding his arm. You know what I'm saying? Starts showing his strength and stuff off. You know what I'm saying? Later when he starts to be around Sam more, just watching that transition as a character was excellent. Then watching him actually, them not waiting and letting him cross that last name out off that book, letting him just let go and become, you know what I'm saying, Bucky instead of being the Winter Soldier, putting the Winter Soldier to rest. And it was just excellent, man. Or
I will say this, I think they did a great job in regards to allowing Bucky to finally find himself again, you know, kind of find his humanity again, because he had been trapped for such a long time, worrying about that program and just turning back into the Winter Soldier. That, yeah, you're right. When you begin the series, you see him just kind of in isolation, just doing things by himself. But now he's kind of, you know, he's kind of got a new friend in town, a new buddy that he can certainly rely on, almost like he is getting his regular life back, sort of thing. And I think that's a great character arc for this character that they've been able to do ever since the Winter Soldier, and just seeing how he's come full circle, and not even necessarily the Winter Soldier, but the first Avenger when we first saw him all the way back in the day. He's come a long way if you think about his story arc.
The only two people that you could arguably say there's been, the only three people you could arguably say there's been, well, maybe it's four, because some of these Avengers went through stuff, but Thor's been through a lot. Had a lot of people die. Had to get broken down to show you were not as powerful as you thought you was, just to get built back up. He's had an incredible arc. The short time that we did have T'Challa for right now, he's been through some crap. Like, and then Wanda. Yeah. Like Wanda might be the only one that's been through more than anybody else, except she broke. She broke. She was the one that couldn't find, you know, nobody was there to pull her away. You know what I'm saying? Maybe if Sam had become Captain America quicker, you wouldn't have Wanda going through what she went through. You know what I'm saying? So it's cool the way that they transition that. I've also noticed why they wanted Black Widow to air before this series. But now that I watched it, I don't think it matters. You know what I'm saying? If they're gonna show Madam Hydra and Black Widow, it's cool. You could do it the other way around because now we're gonna go back and see what she was doing. You know what I'm saying back then, and it just to me is a better effect than seeing her and then seeing her again because then you expect her to show up.
Yeah, I don't think if anything, her debut in Black Widow will affect anything. I mean, if anything, it probably will now have even a bigger impact going into Black Widow now that we've seen her in Falcon and Winter Soldier. Whereas I'm sure it probably would have had even a bigger impact if they had dropped Black Widow first, right? And then it would have a bigger impact here in this particular series. But I'm just really glad that they were able to implement her in here and continue to give her a bigger role because it definitely seems as though she's pulling her own strings. I'm thinking Madam Hydra. I wouldn't be surprised if they go ahead and break out Baron Zemo and you wind up getting US Agent on the team, just slowly building yourselves a Thunderbolts team here. And it does make me wonder now that we have seen Elijah Bradley in here, the grandson to Isaiah Bradley. They even given him a couple lines, a little bit more screen time. I am wondering if this Elijah Bradley is going to go on to become the Patriot and for the Young Avengers at some point in time.
Bro, they is fully setting up the Young Avengers.
Absolutely.
There is a matter of fact, not only that, I feel like they're also setting up the West Coast Avengers. I feel like we're getting.
I would love to see a West Coast Avengers.
It might be 3 different Avengers teams running around to the point where they could just alternate like Call of Duty games. Like this year, we're going to have West Coast Avengers. This year, we're going to have Young Avengers. Like the storytelling and the plot they have is to the point where I'm like, somebody put Kevin Feige on ice. Because I don't want anything that with the way 2021's been going.
Yeah, wake him up in 5 more years. Yeah, wake him up in 5 more years. Let him tell some more stories. Put him on stasis.
Put him back on ice.
Yeah,
wake him up every 5 years and set us up for the next 5 years. This is going great. And in a year we're supposed to be down. I remember us talking about like, can anything be as good as like the first 10 years that we had? They're off on a roll. Because the Avengers team that we're putting together now would mop the floor with the one we had previously. Like,
you think seriously?
So? You think so? I think so. I think so because if you take the core of what's going to be this Avengers team and then the core of the other one, I don't think they stand a chance, though. Because if you take what the core seems like it's going to be,
they took down Thanos. You know what I'm saying? We'll see.
It took all of them together to take down Thanos. You saw Cap strapping on that shield by himself? It was going to be over with for him. He was going to stand up and take one for the team. It's a Tony Stark sacrificing his life.
I will say this. I did like the Elijah Bradley stuff that we wind up getting just because like I really enjoy just all the Isaiah Bradley stuff. First off, kudos for I was about to say Kevin Smith, to Kevin Feige to even bring that story to mainstream. That could have been
an important story in comics.
Absolutely. And it's a super important story in the comic books, but how many people actually read it? You know what I mean? How many in the general public actually knew that this happened? I mean, I had to definitely explain a little bit to my friend Michael, even to my girlfriend about who Isaiah Bradley certainly was a little bit, right? So the idea of being able to take such a pivotal character like that in Marvel Comics and bring him to the forefront and make him a part of mainstream, especially in today's climate, I thought was just super appropriate, and it fits so incredibly well. So to see Sam recognize what Isaiah has done for the world in general, I think clearly I don't know if Sam Wilson would have gotten to this point of being Captain America without maybe those talks and that revelation of what happened with Isaiah, and then to see him even go so far as to actually make people aware of who Isaiah was by giving him that bronze or gold statue at the Captain America exhibit. I wasn't expecting that, but and for me, when I look at somebody like an Elijah, to be able to now see like the things that your grandfather did and is now being recognized for, I mean, I got to think that's got to inspire Elijah to want to go ahead and be his own hero at some point in time. You know what I mean? Jonathan, what's up, buddy? He says the winter producer Kevin Feige. Yeah, absolutely, man.
Kevin Feige's been doing it. It's something Captain RGD says WandaVision versus Falcon and the Winter Soldier finale. Who did it better?
I'm I'm gonna go with Falcon and Winter Soldier, but understand that that's just for me. It's just really just about preference because I thought they were both really great. I loved WandaVision for certainly the risk that it wind up taking. It's just an incredibly unique season in its own right. I thought they did some really great stuff with both Wanda and Vision to actually again make me even care about them to even bump them even higher onto the Avengers list. So I thought they did both seasons have been incredible if you ask me. But for me, just because of the fact that I lean towards that Winter Soldier sort of vibe, the action just does it for me. That government espionage, that type of stuff just does it for me. And this just felt very much like a Marvel Studios production when it comes to like action and storytelling. So for me, it hit me, all those type of ways. So I'll go with Falcon and Winter Soldier.
I'm also going to go with Falcon Winter Soldier, but for a different reason. The WandaVision finale changed the character. You know what I'm saying? It built up a character. It made you care about that character and set her off on a path. The Winter Soldier finale built a world. The world that we're going to play in, everything that's going to happen that we're getting ready to see was built in this finale. So we know what the setting and what the climate is in the world. We know for the huge big players that are going to be in this world. You didn't get that from WandaVision. You know what I'm saying? WandaVision was strictly to me meant to set. WandaVision to me was strictly so you didn't get confused when Doctor Strange came out. So how does she go from point A to point B? You needed to tell that story in between on what happened to her. Falcon and the Winter Soldier, I feel like you needed to tell this story in order to know what's going to happen in the MCU in the future. Period.
Yeah, I definitely
that's why it's the better finale.
Definitely agree. Definitely did a ton of world building in regards to this. And I am curious if we've seen the last of the Flag Smashers. For me, I didn't think Carly was going to make it out of this season alive. I was thinking she was probably going to die some sort of martyr. I would be interested to see if they'll be mindful enough to maybe keep Carly's name around or pop up from time to time, just because of the movement that she wind up certainly causing in here. Hopefully enough for their government to definitely pay attention to and definitely make the corrections that they certainly need to. So, I thought Aaron Kellyman, who did play Carly, did a pretty fantastic job, because at the beginning of the season, I didn't really care too much about her. But then as I feel like in the second half of this season, from episodes like 4 on, you really get to see just how pivotal of a role she definitely played in this season.
Yeah, definitely. Zemo made sure that you wouldn't go hear anything about the original Flag Smashers because he made sure the whole core team was gone. And
really, I guess the only last person that does have super soldier serum is John Walker.
Riley and John Walker.
Right?
In the system. And if Cap ever comes back, maybe them the only 3.
First off, I'm glad you brought up Cap real quick, because I love the as far as like great lines go in regards to like trying to bring some I don't want to say gravitas, but just to bring some humor to a scene. I love when Falcon comes through as Captain America, right? And he saves the day, and he's like, "Who are you?" He's like, "Captain America," and then the guy's like, "Well, I thought Captain America was on the moon." Like, I love the fact that that's the running theory, like, continues. Like, it's not just Torres that knows that theory; it's this guy right here too. He's like, "I thought Captain America was on the moon, though." What if he is on the moon? One of the things that we talked about previously at A+ Hero Report this past weekend, my question was, is Steve Rogers dead? Right? Because the way that they talk about him, or the way that they refer to him as third person, is like the guy's not around, or like they can't just go and contact him. I would not be surprised if he is on the moon.
Now, I wouldn't be surprised if like he's friggin' Nick Fury's left-hand man right now.
Yeah, would not surprise me if he's on a mission with Nick Fury somewhere out in space and he's like chilling up at the moon. I feel like this conspiracy theory is true, Indy. He's on the moon. I'm telling you.
Hey, look, all I know is that there is a rumor that says Chris Evans is coming back to the MCU, but I'm throwing it out there. He's going to blow everybody's mind, and he's coming back to the MCU as the Human Torch.
Shut up. The Human Torch. Now, he's definitely come back as Old Man Steve. Old Man Steve for sure.
Old Man Steve or Hydra Cap. It's going to be
I'd
like
be open.
it's honestly going to be one of the things. I really want to see what they do with this Leviathan thing. I really want to know. I want to know more about Sharon's mindset. I wasn't sure. See, when they were, everybody was talking about her being a power broker. I didn't think the actress had it in her to be able to play that style of character.
That type of character.
And she gave it to me because I hadn't seen her on the screen enough as far as like the MCU went. You know what I'm saying? I didn't know if she could have you gravitate, you know what I'm saying, to her as an actress. And she did it in a split second. When she was standing in that courtroom and they were giving her that pardon, and she walked out and got on that phone, I was like, hey, look, she's better than any villain in Fast and the Furious, hands down. Already.
The only reason why I knew Emily Van Camp, who's the actress that plays Sharon Carter, the only reason I knew that she could pull it off, I watched this old ABC series with her in there called Revenge, and it was just about a bunch of rich people, like, you know, backstabbing and having affairs and doing all this other stuff type of thing, keeping secrets, you know what I mean? So I just knew Emily definitely had it in her and able to go ahead and do that power broker. It just felt like her style for sure. But the way they presented her in like the other movies, like Winter Soldier and Civil War, you're like, nah, it just feels out of character, right? But I am glad that they at least injected something into the Sharon Carter character, because now she can go ahead and have quite a significant role to play in the MCU going forward, and I'm definitely expecting her to. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if maybe she's the cause of freaking Armor Wars or whatever the crap that might happen with Don Cheadle's War Machine series, you know?
That would be crazy. It's going to be funny because I just want to see what happens when her aunt's rolling in a grave right now, by the way.
Yeah, she is. So yeah, she is the true Agent Carter.
Yeah, but that could be a big possibility. But there are some other movies down the line. She's looking for muscle. You know what I'm saying? It'd be. I wouldn't be surprised if she popped up in Shang-Chi.
Oh, that would be interesting.
I am curious. If she's trying to contact the 10 Rings to get them, you know what I'm saying, to work with her or something like that. If she starts trying to pull all these different, you know what I'm saying, organizations, you know what I'm saying, together under her, she is the power broker.
She is in Madripoor too, right? And I have a feeling when it comes to Shang-Chi, I wouldn't be surprised if that city pops up again. So
if I see that Mr. Sinister briefcase on her table.
Oh, I would love it. I would love it. But yeah, guys, but Sam Wilson, man, he's now Captain America. I'm honestly thrilled. And not only that, but I love the fact that at the end of this episode, they did give us a new tagline, Captain America and a Winter Soldier. I thought that was great now that he's doing that. But if you guys loved Anthony Mackie as Captain America, you have not seen the last of him, ladies and gentlemen, because let me go ahead and pull this up here real quick, Indy. Just go ahead and bring this to people's attention. This news article got dropped earlier today. Captain America 4 is in the works with Falcon and the Winter Soldier showrunner Malcolm Spellman. So the guy that just did this 6-part series is going on to do a new Captain America film. So it says Spellman will pen the script with Dalin Musan, a staff writer on the Disney Plus Marvel series. It says the head writer and creator of Falcon and the Winter Soldier is developing a 4th installment of the Captain America film franchise for Marvel Studios. No casting for the projects are officially known, but Friday's episode offers plenty of roads for the feature to take up. Up until this point, Chris Evans has played Captain America via the Steve Rogers character, appearing in a trio of solo films, Avengers outings, and assorted other Marvel films as well. It does say here the feature is likely to continue the story of Sam Wilson, played by Anthony Mackie, and the current wielder of the shield. But as the writers get to work, it will be interesting to see how the story unfolds, and with there now being multiple people who have been Captain Americas in the MCU. No director is currently attached, and Evans' involvement return remains unconfirmed at this particular point in time, even though there are rumors, like you mentioned, Andy, that he could be coming back at some particular point in time. So first off, Malcolm Spellman, earned himself this movie. I got to admit, man, I thought he did an absolutely incredible job. To be able to follow in the footsteps of somebody like Anthony Russo, the Russo brothers, right, with their Captain America movies, and then the Avengers film.
Winter Soldier is something that's hard to follow.
to be able to come out with this and still give us that feel of a Captain America movie in its own right. Yeah, man, I cannot wait to see what Malcolm Spellman certainly does going forward. But this at least lets us know that this isn't a one-off for Sam as Captain America. He definitely seems like he's going to be carrying that shield for a while. I almost wonder if they would even go so far as to give him a second season. Like, can we get a movie and then a second season of this show? I would definitely go ahead and take it. But clearly baby steps at this point in time, but I definitely think Anthony Mackie definitely earned himself a Captain America movie for sure. I've never seen, like, I have been a fan of Anthony Mackie before in the past in some of his movies, but man, he just blew me away with his portrayal as Sam Wilson, and just his understanding of the situation that he knows he finds himself in, the difficult decisions that he has to make and actually sit down with himself to think about, and just to see the way that he's been able to help just so many people in this series. It has just absolutely floored me, to where it's one of those things, Indy, where you never think that somebody can replace another character, right? Like, I think of Chris Evans and I think to myself, like, yeah, I don't know if anybody could ever do a Captain America justice, right? Like, well, I'm just glad that it's not Anthony Mackie having to portray Steve Rogers, right? He can be Sam Wilson and be his own Captain America, but to be able to think of somebody to have that same type of impact and to pick up the mantle and just feel like you're not missing a beat, I think is a really difficult thing to have to do after what Chris Evans did as Captain America. But Anthony Mackie just came to the call and stepped up, man. And like, when I look at him as Captain America, that's my Captain America now, man. Like, I'm perfectly okay with the idea that if Chris Evans never wants to come back and take up this role again, I would be perfectly okay, because I just think Anthony Mackie earned himself this role as Captain America and made it believable. For sure. And that I think is extremely powerful. So I really want to see Anthony Mackie and more. I think he's a stellar choice for our new Cap, honestly.
Definitely. And what this does, even though it was a different situation, it lets you show that it makes me feel more reassured that somebody else can be Black Panther, that you don't necessarily have to recast T'Challa.
You can pass that, right?
You could pass the mantle on and it'd be good. You just have to tell the story right on how the mantle gets passed. Absolutely. So I'm going to be paying close attention to see what they do with that, because I personally, a lot of people have been calling for recast. I'm against the recast. It's a way to walk him off easily and tell your own story. You know what I'm saying? Tell your own story about the Black Panther. Because to be honest with you, how many people that weren't really comic heads really knew who T'Challa was to start off with? He really just started becoming prominent like in the last 10 years, as far as everybody knowing who he was, and then the big boom after the movie came out. So I'm curious to see what they do with these other roles.
Well, I do want to bring this up, Jonathan, real quick. He says, "Don't tell my wife, but I don't think Chris Evans should ever come back." Move the story forward. Listen, Jonathan, after watching this, this reassures me even more that, listen, if Chris Evans wants to come back, I'm not going to shun him away. Come back, my friend. After everything that he's done, I wouldn't mind seeing him at all. But yeah, I definitely agree with you in the sense that, like, I wouldn't mind if he didn't come back, at least not to reprise the role as Captain America, just because of the fact that I've seen what Anthony Mackie can do. He makes me a believer. He's given me chills and goosebumps with some of the speeches and just the come to Jesus moments that he's had with people. And I'm like, if that's anybody that I want representing my Stars and Stripes, man, that's him. So I think that's a hard thing to do and convince people of.
I think the bad part about the situation is because of the reason he took the mantle up, not necessarily because Steve Rogers chose him, but the reasons that he decided to stand in the mantle now. If he gives him up, he's a hypocrite. Because if Chris Evans comes back to take on the mantle with something again, the character Sam Wilson would easily give that mantle back to Steve Rogers, because he's the purest form of what, you know what I'm saying, what it's supposed to be, except he would probably guide him in what, you know what I'm saying, he's done so far. Because I think what a lot of people forget, and I think what I love how they played it and how the country forgot. It was too long ago Steve was a traitor to the country. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like he didn't believe in the morals, stepped away and stepped aside, you know what I'm saying, to fight for what he believed in. But it's like, snap, come back, he fought against Thanos, all is forgiven. They forgot about all of that. He's the truest form of America. No, he is the type of person I feel that would have fought for the disenfranchised, and if he knew about Isaiah Bradley, would have did something about it, because that's the man he is. But that's why he chose Sam for the job. But I don't think that it has to be a proper storyline if Cap picks up that shield again, because they just can't have Sam Wilson as a black man watching Marvel. You lose a core part of your fan base if you just have Sam Wilson give up that shield for no reason, just because you know what I'm saying, just because Steve stands back. Here you go, Steve. It defeats the meaning of the story you just told and how important it is to a lot of people who are starting to see themselves, you know what I'm saying, on the screen and in the characters. So if they were going to do it, it had to be done right. And I don't think it's something that can be done in 1 or 2 movies. Like you said, we need a movie. We need a season 2. You know what I'm saying? Then we probably need something to happen in order for Cap, you know what I'm saying, to come back in order to do that. And I think if they wanted to go that route, the Hydra Cap would be a cool thing to do, with Sam trying to, you know what I'm saying, get him back from that side. Like, this isn't
that would be pretty cool.
And having to make that choice on whether he's going to have to put Steve Rogers down or not. That would be interesting.
There's your season 2 storyline right there. Well, who knows? Maybe that's a movie. Who certainly knows? That might even be a movie for all we know. Yeah. We'll definitely see, man. But I've been definitely impressed, man. Oh, last quick honorable mention. We didn't really see him in here too much, but I've been wanting to talk to you about this because I brought this up in one of our Facebook Messenger groups. Torres. Yes. The guy, you know, the one that's been working alongside Sam Wilson this entire time. You know, we saw Sam tell him in the previous episode, because he left his wings behind, and he told Torres, you know, you keep the wings, do whatever you want with them. I immediately texted you and I was like, does Sam Wilson in the comic books have a sidekick?
Yeah, Captain America and the Falcon.
Because I remember him taking up the mantle of Captain America, but I don't recall reading the idea of him having a sidekick. So I'm assuming in the comic books, Torres does go on to become a Falcon of his own.
Yes, he does. Except I think his wings, he didn't have like mechanical wings. His wings were kind of like what Angel's were. They were like real wings. So
he plucked them off a bunch of birds and just glued them together.
I don't know what he did. I don't know if he was a mutant or like if something happened, if he had him surgically inserted. I don't remember those kind, because the Captain America Falcon comics didn't last too long. It was something where at that time I was reading comics for excitement. I didn't see what these writers were trying to do and push, you know what I'm saying, a story forward. And inclusion. Like, I understand that now that I'm grown. I didn't understand it when those were coming out, you know, and I didn't see the importance of the Truth series that Zaya Breda was in, a Black Captain America, a Black Superman. I didn't know the importance of that stuff until I got older, you know what I'm saying, and for it to be that inclusion and the whole arguments and stuff. So yeah, it means a lot, and they totally set that up. They set that up. So when they changed the title, I honestly thought it was going to say Captain America and the Falcon. I thought Bucky was gone. I was so happy it said Winter Soldier.
Yeah, I mean, I would definitely love to have Bucky back, but I am kind of curious if Torres would be introduced in a second season or something like that. I would be interested to see how they pull that off if they do change the title to Captain America and the Falcon again.
Jonathan said they spliced the real Red Wing for Torres. Because Red Wing in the comics was a Falcon real bird. Yeah, they gene spliced. That's what they did.
Oh, interesting.
Because Red Wing was a real bird in in the comics.
In the comic books, yeah, in the comic books.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay, yeah, I had no idea about that. Thank you, Jonathan, for informing us. But yeah, man, listen, I think we covered pretty much everything there, from Carly to John Walker a little bit, and shout out to Wyatt Russell. Again, for a guy who's been dealing with a ton of fan hate, who people that can't disassociate him with his actual character. But I guess that's what you want in somebody, right? That can do such a good job that you just believe that this man is this character.
Y'all champion Zemo. All it was him going like this, and he was the best character on the planet.
Yeah, well, Zemo got rhythm, man. Zemo got rhythm, but I'm just glad. I don't necessarily know if I saw this as a full redemption story to John Walker. I don't think he's a full-fledged good guy or anything like this. I definitely do think that he certainly has his mental break moments and capacity there for sure to kind of jump off the deep end when he needs to. But it was cool to see Wyatt Russell actually working alongside these guys in the finale a little bit, and earning him a brand new moniker and a future. So I'm at least glad to know that Wyatt Russell will in fact be back at some point.
Nah, he's such a yes man. I have to get that to him. That character is such a yes man. U.S. agent, yes.
I'll take it.
Yes, I'll take it. He's just so happy to be included in something.
He's so glad he's back, man. GSP was in here real quick. Good old George St. Pierre came back as Batroc. I love the line that he gives Sam in here: "The robes don't make the monk," right? Like the costume doesn't make the man, sort of thing. But Sam's definitely shown that he's man enough to wear that Captain America cape. He's definitely proved himself.
Or even Bucky talking about he had a phone call, or he had a text. He only heard like one line.
Well, yeah. I thought that was pretty. He's like, yeah, I was texting. All I heard was like black man in a red and white strip shield or some shit like that. Red and striped shield. I was like, you're so stupid, Bucky.
And then the fact that they took the time to close it out by taking him back to have a conversation with Isaiah Bradley, well, I felt like was really important.
I thought that was really important. And then again, for me, even getting an opportunity to see Bucky with Sam's family and part of the family, and having that great outro. I just thought they did a beautiful job. The pacing in this season was incredible to just get us hooked into these characters, hit us with that action, and then send us off with just the good feels and seeing everybody come together. I thought it was a brilliant season, man.
Sam's gonna have a super soldier's nephew soon.
Yeah, definitely for sure. He better watch out for Sarah for sure. All right, guys, but listen, at the end of the day, guys, these are just simply our A+ opinions, but we definitely want to go ahead and know yours. So please let your thoughts be known in the live chat or the comment section box below after this particular video airs. So yeah, I think our next season is in fact Loki, which I think drops in June, if I'm not mistaken. And then I do believe
they should have so dropped What If in between this. What If
that would have been perfect. And then we've got Black Widow in July. So we definitely have a lot more MCU content headed our way
I think he froze, people. Is he going to come back? Is he coming back? Yo, spoiler, if at the end she got off the phone, it would have hit harder. She said if she ended the call with Hell Hydra. I think mention Leviathan. I think the Leviathan thing would have hit a little bit harder. I think the Hydra with the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., everything went on. I think Hydra's just been overdone a little bit too much. I'm trying to see if Adam's going to pop back in. I think we lost him, guys. See if he's come back in, but like we said, those are just our A+ opinions. You guys can tune in, address your comments in the comment section below, and as always, stay tuned to hear. Like, share, subscribe. We do have a Patreon. Go ahead and check that out. $1, $5, and $10 tiers get you in contact with the Discord, audio versions of everything that we dropped, plus a whole bunch more. We got personalized reviews and stuff up there for different things. A+ Sport Phenomenal and A+ Hero Report. So glad that you guys tuned in. Big shout outs to Keisha Passmore. What's up, Keisha for checking in. Just missed us reviewing, but make sure you go back and watch that because you'll find some interesting things in there because I know you're a big Marvel head. But until next time, guys, as always, Keep it A+. Indy out.